I used to think the scariest part of driving trucks at night was falling asleep at the wheel. I was wrong. The scariest part is staying awake long enough to see something you can't explain. This happened 2 years ago on Interstate 70, somewhere in the flat, empty stretch of Kansas where the road doesn't turn for almost 60 miles. If you've ever driven it at 3 a.m., you know the kind of quiet I mean. No radio station comes in clean out there. Just static and your own headlights and mile markers ticking by like a countdown to nothing. I'd been driving for 11 hours straight. Coffee wasn't working anymore. I remember checking the clock, 2:51 a.m., and telling myself I'd pull off at the next rest stop, no matter how far it was. That's when I saw mile marker 214. And then, 4 minutes later, I saw it again. At first, I figured I'd misread it the first time. Tired eyes do that. But the second time, I slowed down enough to be sure. Green sign, reflective white letters, 214, standing at the edge of the shoulder exactly like before. I kept driving, watched the odometer. I hadn't turned around. I hadn't taken an exit. There was no loop in that road. Nothing but straight highway for miles in either direction. 12 minutes later, I saw it a third time. That's when I started to feel something I hadn't felt in 15 years of driving trucks for a living, which is that the road itself felt wrong. Not the truck, not me, the road. I want to explain something about long-haul driving for anyone who hasn't done it. You get used to a kind of rhythm out there. Mile markers going up or down depending on your direction. Gas stations appearing roughly where your GPS says they will. Exits lining up the way they're supposed to. That night, none of it lined up. My GPS said I was still approaching exit 219, but I'd passed exit 219 almost 20 minutes earlier. I remember the exact moment because there'd been a dead deer on the shoulder right past the sign, and I specifically remember thinking, glad I'm not cleaning that up. I passed that same dead deer 2 more times before sunrise. Around 3:40 a.m., I finally saw another set of headlights coming toward me in the opposite lane. First vehicle I'd seen in almost an hour. As it got closer, I realized it wasn't in the opposite lane at all. It was in mine. Same direction as me, same lane, coming up slow from behind in my mirror. Then somehow, already ahead of me in my headlights, a pair of taillights I hadn't seen pass me at any point. I eased off the gas, just to put some distance between us. The taillights eased off too, staying exactly the same distance ahead, like we were tied together with a piece of string. I sped up. So did they. I slowed all the way down to 40. So did they. We did that for almost 11 miles. Truckers talk to each other. That's just part of the job. So I picked up my CB radio and tried a few channels, hoping somebody local might explain what I was seeing, or at least keep me company. Nothing but static on the usual channels. Then, on channel 19, a voice came through, calm, almost bored, like he did this every night. He said, "You're on the old stretch." I asked him what that meant. He said, "Some roads remember more traffic than they carry now. You'll come off it around sunrise. Don't stop before then. Don't follow anybody's taillights either. They're not going anywhere you want to end up." Then the channel went back to static, and no matter what I tried, I couldn't raise him again. I want to be honest with you. At this point, I was scared in a way I hadn't been scared since I was a kid. But stopping felt worse than driving, so I kept my hands on the wheel, kept my eyes forward, and made myself a promise. I was not going to follow those taillights, no matter what happened. Which turned out to matter, because around 4 a.m., the taillights ahead of me slowed down, pulled onto the shoulder, and stopped completely. And then, the brake lights flicked off. The vehicle just sat there in the dark, no lights at all, right on the edge of the road I still had to pass. Every instinct told me to look away as I went by. I didn't listen to that instinct. I looked. It was an old pickup truck.
The kind you'd see in photographs from the 70s, rusted through in places, parked at an angle that didn't match the shoulder at all, almost like it had been dropped there rather than driven. There was someone sitting in the driver's seat, not moving, just facing forward, hands on the wheel, watching the empty road ahead of them, the exact same way I'd been watching mine for the last 2 hours. I did not stop.
Mile marker 214 appeared one final time right after that. And then, without any transition I can point to, the road simply became normal again. Exit 219 showed up exactly where the GPS had promised it the whole time. The sky was starting to go gray at the edges. My hands didn't stop shaking until I pulled into a truck stop almost 30 minutes later. I sat in the parking lot with the engine running for a long time before I felt safe enough to go inside. Here's the part that still bothers me the most. More than the mile marker, more than the taillights, more than the man in the old pickup truck. When I finally checked my dash cam footage later that morning, the entire stretch from 251 to almost 415 was just static. Not blank, not corrupted looking, static. The exact same texture as the sound on that CB channel. 45 minutes of driving, completely missing.
I don't take that stretch of Interstate 70 anymore, if I can help it. If a load forces me onto it, I make sure I'm nowhere near it between 2 and 4 in the morning. I've asked other long-haul drivers, quietly, careful not to sound like I've lost it, whether they've ever seen anything strange on the old stretch. More of them know exactly what I'm talking about than I'm comfortable admitting. One of them told me something I haven't been able to shake. He said the road doesn't want your truck. It wants your taillights to follow. That's mile marker 214. If you drive for a living, or you've ever felt like the road was watching you back, I want to hear about it in the comments. And if you know what happened on Channel 19 that night, I promise you, I want to know too. See you on the next one. Keep your eyes on the road.
In the state of New Mexico, there's a highway, Highway 40. Locals call it the Silent Stretch, because out there, late at night, radios just stop working on their own. This is the story of Daniel Carter, a long-haul truck driver, 47 years old, 15 years on the road, a man who didn't believe in ghosts. But one night, that belief was gone, forever. Daniel drove for a freight company, his route, Texas to California, a long haul, a lonely one. That night he was sitting in his truck, an 18-wheeler, unit number NAITS 4471. The clock read 6:10 p.m. Ahead of him, just darkness, and on both sides of the road, dry desert stretching for miles. Daniel turned on the radio. Country music playing. Everything felt normal. Then, something strange happened. Around 2 a.m, Daniel saw a figure standing on the side of the road. A woman dressed in white, hair loose, completely still. Daniel thought maybe she needed help. He slowed the truck down, but as the truck got closer to where she stood, she wasn't there. Gone. Daniel's hands started shaking. He rubbed his eyes, told himself it was just exhaustion playing tricks on him. He turned the radio up louder and kept driving. At 3 a.m, something else happened. The radio just shut off by itself. Daniel pressed the button. Nothing. The screen went blank, and that's when he heard it, a whisper. Daniel? His name. Daniel turned around. The cab was empty, just him. Alone. His heart started racing. He rolled down the window. Cold air rushed in, but the whisper didn't stop. Daniel, pull over. Daniel glanced at the side mirror, and what he saw is he never forgot. In the mirror, sitting in the back seat, someone was there, a shape, shaped like a man, dressed in black, face blurred. Daniel spun around, panicked. No one was there. He looked at the mirror again. The shape was still there. His breathing turned shallow. He pushed the throttle down, speeding up. Just get through this stretch, he told himself. Just get through it. Then, the dashboard light started flickering, and the engine died. The truck stopped, dead in the middle of the road. Darkness all around. No headlights, no sound, just silence. Daniel turned the key. Nothing, not even a click. His palms were soaked with sweat. Then, from the back of the cab, he heard something breathing, slow, heavy, close, too close. Daniel forced himself to turn around, and there it was, right in front of him. No face, just darkness, and 2 burning eyes staring back. The scream caught in his throat. Daniel threw the door open and jumped out. Barefoot, running down the highway. He didn't look back. He could feel it. Something following him. Footsteps, right behind him, matching his own. But when those footsteps started walking right beside him, he stopped, and he asked, "Who are you? What do you want from me?" No answer came, just the wind and a cold breath right at the back of his neck. The next morning, a highway patrol car found the truck, parked on the shoulder, engine dead, door wide open, and Daniel lying almost 2 miles away, unconscious. When he woke up, he told the police everything. They pulled the old records for that stretch of highway, and what they found sent chills through everyone in that station. 20 years earlier, right on that same stretch of road, a truck driver had died. Same spot, same time, 3:33 in the morning. His name was David Carter, Daniel's older brother, who'd vanished on that same highway years before in an accident. His body was never found. Daniel never drove long haul again. But even today, some truckers still say, if you're driving Highway 40 and the clock hits 3:33 in the morning, don't turn off your radio, because he's still out there, waiting for his brother